Hello guys, welcome to part 7 of Legacy. First of all, this as usual, this story isn't mine. If you want to read the full story for yourself, you can go down in the description and click the link to the original post to read it for yourself. I'm just narrating the post. That being said, let's get into the video. Chapter 7, Joys of D Ranks. A couple of years have passed and Naruto and Hinata have grown quite a bit. They are now both 10 years old and each of them are slightly taller than kids of the same age due to their constant training. Both Naruto and Hinata were very strong when compared to other of their age if you could even compare. In the academy, physical shinobi competition and training only starts when the students are 12 years old, in which they learn the academy taijutsu style coupled with ninjutsu. If they were to face Naruto or Hinata, they would get demolished. They were both well-rounded shinobi. However, Naruto still couldn't cast a low-level genjutsu without a Sharingan to save his life. Actually, he found it easier to cast high-ranking genjutsu that require more chakra than low-level ones. Even the Naruto focused a lot in chakra control, bringing it to Jonin level. He still couldn't do a single clone. He either did at least 50 or the on will fail. Naruto finally mastered bow style but decided to learn Kenjutsu since his mother was one of the best in the leaf. Since he couldn't get it in most shop, he bought couple of books in weapon forging. Since he had fire element, he decided to forge his own weapon with scrap metal and other weapon he found in training field. In time, he would buy chakra metal for a new proper sword. In fact, both of them learned Kenjutsu and the same style. However, Naruto favored speed and strength, and Hinata, being more flexible, preferred to dodge and strike and the strikes. This type of Kenjutsu style, much like his taijutsu, was based on praying or dodging the attack with quick strikes meant to end the battle in on strike. This was the Kenjutsu style of the Uzumaki clan. Uzumaki Kushina, before her death, was on par with the seven ninja swordsmen of the Mist. This group was composed by the greatest swordsmen of the Mist and were not to be underestimated. In fact, each of their swords had a special ability that favored each of their styles. Kushina, in fact, was known as Konoha's Red Death due to her crimson red hair color. Naruto also learned the gentle fist with Hinata and both practiced it until perfected. Even though Naruto's Sharingan couldn't see the chakra points, he adapted the style for pressure points. One of the problems they had was Hinata's low chakra pool, so they focused on that for almost last year and managed to increase her levels quite a bit. She had low Jonin level chakra levels and Kage level control. Naruto had high Kage chakra levels and Jonin level control. Naruto realized that Hinata was actually quite proficient in the gentle fist and asked her why did their family treat her that badly when she was quite talented. The fact was that in order to learn the gentle fist perfectly and train their strengths and techniques, one would have to use another as test subject, and close tenketsus was quite painful, so Hinata refused to that to the branch members. Hinata was too kind to even try to harm someone in order to train. But with Naruto, that wasn't a problem. Naruto used his shadow clone technique to provide Hinata as many guinea pigs as she wanted, and doing her technique skyrocketed, and so her technique skyrocketed, and she even managed to hold her ground against Naruto in taijutsu. In ninjutsu, they both mastered their chosen affinities and the jutsus they had. Hinata started in wind and Naruto started in lightning. One interesting fact was that Naruto discovered was that he had high lightning affinity similar to the second Hokage's water affinity. In fact, Naruto wasn't really a sensor in the normal terms since he didn't sense chakra. Naruto, due to his lightning affinity, could actually feel the bioelectricity of the people around him. Knowing that he had such an affinity, he started investing more and more in this element. He went to his father's library and gathered all the lightning technique that he could. Now we find Naruto walking through the village, heading for the Hokage Tower. The villagers still send the usual glares, and they would still try and harm him. But now, with his training, he managed to escape. He could even fight them, but he chose not to harm them. He didn't want to give the poor Hokage more paperwork. Hokage Tower. He arrived at the Hokage Tower and made his way up. Arriving at the Hokage's office, he turned to the security. He never liked her, and the feeling was mutual. She was one of the idealistic civilians who couldn't tell the difference between a scroll and a sealed kunai. Just let it go, kid. Someday they will understand. The Kiwi said. Naruto nodded inwardly. In the good morning, I came to talk with the Hokage. Is he available? Naruto asked politely, as he for once didn't want trouble. She looked up and saw that thing in front of her, and with a disgusting face said, What would the Hokage want with a thing like you?" She spat it. "You should be careful on how you address me. One wrong word, and I have permission to separate your head from your shoulders," he said in a serious tone while releasing a bit of killer intent. As he was a civilian and too much could kill her. The Hokage will see you now," she quickly said, fearing for her life while showing a false smile. Naruto opened the door to see a smiling face of the Hokage. "Naruto-kun, how have you been?" The Hokage asked. "I am fine. Actually, I have a favor to ask you," he said, to which the Hokage raised an eyebrow. "I will do my best. What do you need?" he said. "Well, you see, I am running a bit low on cash this month, and I know that I am not a shinobi yet, but would it be possible for me to get a couple of D ranks?" he said, looking at the Hokage's thinking face. The Hokage pondered the situation. Genins always hated these missions, and they tended to stockpile. Besides, it couldn't hurt, he thought. "Sure, Naruto, but you do realize these missions are normally done with a Jonin sensei and their Genin squad, so they will take longer for you," he said. "No problem, old man. I can create my own army if I need," Naruto said, placing his finger in a cross form, channeling some chakra, and in a puff of smoke, 20 clones appeared in the office. The Hokage's jaw hit the floor, seeing a 10-year-old pull a B rank kenjutsu. "When did you learn that?" Do you realize what that technique is? Is a kenjutsu for its massive chakra uses, he said, trying to make Naruto understand the danger of the technique. Relax, Grandpa. I copied it when I was watching Kakashi and a weird guy named Guy in green spandex shouting something about flames of youth speech. Besides, I have a crap ton of chakra. I can easily make 1,000 clones and still be in fighting condition, he said with a smirk. The Hokage nodded slowly. Kami, Kami. God, he can make 1,000 clones at 10 years old. I know he's a Jinjuriki person with tail beast sealed inside, but damn, he will be a chakra powerhouse, he thought. Okay, Naruto, since you still aren't an official ninja, I will give you the mission, and later when you become one, I will add them to your file. Come with me to the mission room, the Hokage said, and they both left the Hokage's office heading towards the mission room, Konoha's mission room. So let's see what we got here, the Hokage said, going through the available mission. How many do you want? Seeing as you can create a bunch of clones, I think you might be able to clear our workload. The Hokage continued. Naruto pondered. Give me 10 missions. If I have time today, I will do a few more. Besides, Hinata decided to go visit Kuranai, so I will have the day for the mission. Naruto said, pitching the scrolls, picking the scrolls and opening the first. Damn cat, Naruto thought as he read the first mission. It was to retrieve a fearsome beast. The name of that said beast was Tora, the on-tailed demon cat. Oh, please, I got 8 more tails, QV said. Besides, we can always burn her crisp and blame enemy ninjas. QB said, chuckling, and Naruto sweat dropped. A few hours later, come here, Tora, here, kitty, Naruto said, trying to approach the cat without having her flailing. Naruto channeled chakra to his leg and jumped, catching the cat. Tora didn't find it much fun as she started clawing him all over the place. Oh hell, I'm tired of this, Naruto said, activating his Sharingan. He looked at Tora and said, Maage, sleeking strike. The genjutsu paralyzed Tora, and Naruto said, Hellfire technique. This new genjutsu made Tora think he was being burned alive. Mwah! Naruto chuckled. Naruto chuckled evilly as Tora screamed in pain. QV seeing this sweat dropped and thought, I got a dumbass for a container. Next mission, helping farmer. Naruto made his way for his next mission. He read the scroll, and the mission was to cultivate a piece of land since the farmer didn't have enough time to do it himself. Naruto arrived at the site. The farmer house was actually almost outside the village, and the land itself was fairly big. Judging from the size of the land, it most likely was for planting the vegetables and later selling them. Naruto approached the client and started doing his job. The client didn't seem happy. They sent the demon blood, but at least the QB would work for him. Almost an hour was due, and Naruto continued his work using a hoe to groom the land peacefully and understanding until slam. A noise echoed through the clearing as as the sound of the metal clashing. Now to remove a couple inches of dirt until he saw a metal door in the ground. What the hell is this? Naruto thought as he moved to open the hatch. Once open, he saw a bunch of stairs that seemingly led underground. As a curious kid, he carefully made his way down. As he was going down, he couldn't help but notice the smell. One of the things of having the QB inside of him was that it gave enhanced sense, primarily smell and hearing. The smell itself was of death and pa- part of part of action. Something isn't right here, Naruto thought as he began to explore what appeared a vast underground base, a long corridor with a multiple rooms connected. Checking a few rooms, even him couldn't help himself but throw up. In one of the rooms of skeletons of people and a few others still decomposing. Going in further, checking another room, he could see vials spread along the table with strange colored liquid, and wisely decided it would be best not to touch them as he couldn't explore. As he continued exploring the best, he kept wondering how could this exist here and be kept a secret. Judging by the look of it, it seemed that whoever lived here left in a hurry. This smell, snakes, Naruto was thinking when suddenly he pieced together the fact he read in the library about a shinobi that used snakes as a summoning and deflected Konoha after being found with doing twisted experiment with children that he kidnapped. Orochimaru, the snake Sanin. Naruto complied and made a shadow clone and said, "Go tell the old man." The clone left and Naruto continued exploring, glazing into the room so he could have a brief idea of what it contained. One of the rooms appeared to be a small study room. Entering the room and making his way to the table, he saw a few seals and a multitude of vials of blood with various names in them: Senju Hashirama, Senju Tobirama, Namikaze Minato, and a few other Naruto didn't recognize. What could possibly Orochimaru want with the blood of my father, not to mention the Senju brothers? Naruto kept wondering until he saw a few notes written in what it seemed to be a diary. He continued reading until that twitched blast, twisted, twisted blasted Hokage office. Hiruzen was having a normal day in his office, and by normal I say he was cursing Minato for leaving him with the paperwork when suddenly he saw Naruto busting through the door. "Old man," Naruto started, "I think I found one of Orochimaru's old bases," to which the Hokage yelled, "What?" I was doing one of the mission and I was cultivating a field until I hit a metal hatch. After opening it and clutching and checking inside, it reeked of snakes and there were dead bodies all over. Naruto said, "Anbu." The Hokage said, and in front of him appeared an Anbu with a Willis marks, kneeling before the Hokage and waiting for water. Bring me Ibiki and Anko." "Hi, Hokage-sama," the Anbu said and vanished in a puff of smoke. The Hokage turned to Naruto. "Naruto, the, are the original He asked, to which are you the original? He asked, to which Naruto shook his head negatively. Boss is in checking the rest of the base and making sure no one enters it. The clones respond. Then tell him to continue guarding the entrance until Anko and Ibiki arrives. Then tell him to come here immediately after. The Hokage said, getting a nod before the clone disappeared. Orochimaru's place. Naruto was still going through the base until the memories of the clones hit him, and he stopped and gathered what he was doing and made his way to the entrance. Naruto waited a couple of minutes before a man and a woman dropped in front of him. The man was about 193 centimeters, 6 foot 4, and worn traditional black underpants and a black jacket. He also wore a long sleeved black jacket and a scarf that covered the top of his head. The man had a few scars in his face. Naruto recognized him from a couple of pranks he pulled. He was Morino Ibiki, a special jonin and commander of Konoha torture and interrogation force. Beside Ibiki was a woman had uh, who had approximately 167 centimeters, 5 foot 55, 5 foot 5. She wore a fully body mesh armor with a short brown skirt and a long stitch coat that barely covered her D-cup breast. She had purple pineapple-style hair and brown eyes. Naruto assumed that this woman was Anko. Naruto, facing both of them, turned toward the woman and said, "I assume you are Anko. I am the sexy and single Mitarishi Anko," she explained, pumping her fist in the air, to which Naruto's sweat dropped. "I was doing a D rank and came across this base, and after exploring it, I concluded it belonged to the Orochimaru, so I informed the Hokage. My work is done. Knock yourself out," Naruto said and left towards the Hokage's office. Naruto arrived at the Hokage's office and saw him with a saddened and thoughtful look. Naruto assumed it had to do with Orochimaru. After all, he was one of Hiruzen's most prized students, a genius that comes once in a lifetime. However, he got caught in his own admission. "I am here, old man," Naruto said, getting the Hokage's attention. "I don't even know if this should be called lucky or not," the Hokage said, sighing. Was Naruto's genius of an answer. "You said that you were low on cash and wanted a few D-rank missions, and you ended up finding one of my old students' laboratory." Naruto nodded and the Hokage continued, "Since you found it, I am upgrading the mission to S rank. You are never to speak of it, and everything you found and saw inside, you are never to reveal. Are we clear?" the Hokage said in serious and demanding tone. "Yes, Hokage-sama," Naruto replied as if he was a usual shinobi that brought a small smile to the old man's face. I could call it luck. "I would call it luck," Naruto said, grinning. "Well then, I'm gonna get going. See you later, granny, grandpa," he said, and the Hokage nodded. Once Naruto left the room, the Hokage leaned back in his chair, lost in thought. The honors of D ranks. The Hokage thought, chuckling to himself. He got out of his thoughts and got back to his work. The Hokage looked at the amount of paperwork and yelled, Damn you, Minato! That's all for this today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you wanna be notified when part 8 comes out, then you have to subscribe. That's all for today's videos. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.